Today we're going to talk about how to develop a successful relationship with families of children with special needs. So in order to do so, the professional has to understand what a partnership means. A partnership means two or more people that build on each other's resources and expertise in order to work towards a beneficial mutual end, something that is going to work for both of them. There are several elements regarding a partnership. Some of them are communication, trust, respect, equality, and commitment. In order to have a round, healthy relationship with families, we have to have those elements in the relationship. Communication, we should be able to communicate in effective ways, to have effective channels of communications. For example, try to avoid technical terms when you are talking with families, like too technical that they are not going to follow you. Like, try always to bring the information towards the family level of understanding. Respect means honoring the child's family culture, beliefs, and values. Trust means that you have to promise and be willing to be confidential and respect the family needs. Commitment is always to be available, always to work towards high expectations, to always have high expectations for the child, because you always want the best for them. And equality means treating the family as partners, empower them, giving them resources so they can work and building their strengths. It's always treat them like equal partners. The first most important aspect of building a partnership is getting to know the family. How do you get to know the family? Well, basically it's through interviews, and there are several types of interviews that you can do. You can do echo mapping. That means writing a map and building how the children's family is, like who is in contact with the child, like who is in their lives. You can also do a routine-based questionnaire. In that type of interviews, you need to know what goals do you want, what are you expecting, and guide the family in how their routines are, how they're working with the child. That way you get to know them, like, oh, this family works this way, or this family works another way. The final type of interview is a relationship-based one, and that one you have to also guide the family to see what are the goals, and what are they aware of in the dynamic of the child's well-being, right? There are also another important component is to build on the family strengths. So family strengths can be easily overlooked because you are trying to see, oh, what is the best that I can do for the child? Well, actually their family already has systems in place. Some of those family strengths can be like, they supporting parents, having support from the community, like siblings or grandparents that emotional support the family. If the child has in his life clear and consistent rules, that's another strength of the family. Parents that have positive impact in their child's mental well-being, that's another strength of the family. Another important component of building this partnership is include the family in the decision-making process and invite them to be in the whole process. The most important component about this element is to understand the families are able to make good decisions. The professional needs to build the information and give the parent the adequate resources that they need in order to make those informed decisions. But they're always going to want the best for the child, and you always have to think that that's where they are coming from. Family wants the best for the child, so they are going to be working towards that. So it's your job to provide them the resources and the information that they need in order to do those decisions, right? The planning is also essential because they are the primary setting where the child is developing. So they know where they can work with you towards goals and say, oh, you know, I want to work. My child is having, let's say, has a learning disability. Well, I want to work for him to get to know his letters, and I want him to know to get these steps. And then you can guide them. Well, like for his learning disability, maybe it's more important if he does this. Or so you always can come to a common ground, and you guys can work together. It's also very important to provide the family with services and support. So support comes in there's three main areas that people need, the family needs support, and that will be emotional support, material support, and that will be emotional support, material support, and informational support. Informational support means that you are gonna provide them with brochures, trainings, things where they can get informed about the disability and all the services that they can use, right? The material support is maybe the family are having struggles with living, accommodations, or job, or food, so you can check in the community resources and see, oh, okay, this is a housing resource, or there is a job fair going on, and you can guide them. There are also the services that you can help them is, for example, making them referrals and scheduling appointments, helping the families to get the treatment that they need for their child, coordinating early interventions. Let's say that you're a teacher and then you notice that the child has some delays, you can guide the family through a HSN statistics questionnaire, and from that on build out in order to get them a plan and service. You can do follow-up activities, you can help them to facilitate between transition plans. Maybe they're moving from one service to another one, and you can help them to that. It's also important to understand that families have different levels of support that they want, and also levels of participations that they want to have. That does not mean that they don't care about their child, but it can reflect their culture and their values and their beliefs. So sometimes, let's say, European American family will have different levels of engagement than a Latin American family. Latin American families rely a lot on authority, they respect. So they're gonna respect most of the time the professional, and they're gonna leave everything on their hands because they are the people who know. While the European American family probably is gonna be more involved because they are more individualistic and they wanna know like what's going on with their child. And their level of understanding or authority is different from a Latin American family. So for you as a professional, it's always important to understand what is the level of participation that they want to know and respect it. And also, at the end, the most important thing in how to build a relationship is to understand that the primary role of everybody in that partnership is to support the child. So the child is the main component. The child and then the family as a whole. Because remember, families are the ones that are aware of their child's special needs primarily, because they are primary caregivers and they're the ones that they notice. And they need to be able to understand the legal rights, and that way they can be able to advocate for their child. So you, as a professional, need to train them and push them that way. And if you are giving them the support and the services and you are showing them how to get those, they are gonna try. A family is gonna take the most of the service, and that's gonna reflect in their child development and their child's learning and their child's growth. So let's work together towards that, and always having consideration that you are a partner in this process.